Have you ever wondered how certain words can completely change the course of our lives? Sometimes everything seems to be in order. The work is going well. The family is united. Health is up to date and no serious problems in sight. But just pronounce some seemingly harmless phrases so that it suddenly starts to crumble. I am not talking about this as a philosopher or psychology expert, but as someone who lived these situations and grew up in a culture where words carry an almost magical weight. In the Jewish tradition, there is a saying, life and death are in the power of language. And it's not just a beautiful metaphor, it's a truth proven for generations, for stories of thousands of people over time. Has it happened to you? You said something like, now can't get worse, and in a few days the situation has become even more complicated, or full of joy. You declared, everything is perfect, even too much. And soon after, something went wrong, as if the universe had heard and decided to test his luck. Some will say it is mere coincidence. But how to explain so many coincidences in a row? I myself witnessed this dozens of times. I saw people who, in their own words, destroyed what they had built with so much effort over the years. And I also saw those who knew how to shut up at the right times, having difficulties more lightly, as if the world protected them. Today, I want to share with you a valuable knowledge, the words that work like a bad eye. These are no phrases. They are expressions that, when said, can attract misfortunes. But don't think this is superstition or magic. It is real, which can be explained by psychology, tradition, and life experience. I will show you what these dangerous words are, because they have so much power, and especially how to replace them so that your words work in your favor, not against you. First of all, however, let me ask a question. Have you ever wondered why, in Jewish culture, is it so common to say Tadu or TFF, to ward off the evil eye? Why did the grandparents make that gesture of Sue when someone boasted too much or celebrated something with a lot of euphoria? Why is there a habit of not talking about good things before they happen? It is no coincidence. It is an ancient wisdom that teaches words can arouse forces that are best to leave asleep. If you do not know this rule, you risk attracting unnecessary problems to yourself. I ask you to follow until the end, not because I want to retain your attention, but because these words have a real power to transform your life. Imagine finding out what sentences you repeat daily without realizing it, and with that, closes doors to happiness. Now imagine replacing these phrases with others and seeing life start smiling at you. It may seem like fairy tale, but it is a millennial wisdom tested by time. And today I will share this knowledge with you. When we talk about words that work like a bad eye, many think this is silly. Words are just sounds, meaningless letters. But it's not quite. One word is like a seed, you the plant, and it bears fruit. If the seed is bad, the fruits will be bitter. In Jewish tradition, it is said that each word creates an angel. He says something good, and an angel of good comes to act in his life. Speak something bad, and you give rise to an angel of destruction. Now think how many of these angels we have released every day without even realizing it. What are these dangerous words that we should avoid? The first is, for me, everything is too good. At first glance, it seems only an expression of joy, but in these words there is a challenge, a provocation. It is as if you say to the world, come, try to ruin my happiness. And life often accepts the challenge. I know a case of a friend who, after buying his apartment, gathered his friends and said, now everything is perfect. Nothing bad can happen. A month later, problems arose with the home documentation, and he had to spend time and money to solve everything. The apartment stayed with him, but the tranquility is gone. I could have said otherwise. Thank God, I finally have a home. May it bring good things, and may everything continue like this in peace. Do you feel the difference? Of second dangerous phrase is, there's no way to get worse. How many times have we heard as S, and how many times, soon after, the situation really got worse, as if life wanted to prove otherwise? An acquaintance of mine, after losing his job and going through health problems, sat at the door of the building and stated, now there is no way to get worse. A week later, the neighbors flooded their apartment. It was not by evil of anyone, simply the circumstances aligned themselves. But their words seemed to pave the way for one more problem. The third sentence, perhaps the most destructive, is, I'm a failed, or I will never get anything. When you say that, it's like signing a life contract. I agree to be a loser. And life replies, so it's done. I saw talented people with great opportunities who were alone repeating, I do not provide for anything. My hands are butter. And amazingly, everything in their lives came to confirm these words. But it could be different. I don't know yet, but I'm learning. It's hard, but I will surpass. These phrases open completely new paths. What to do? Then, we cannot control everything in life, but we can control what we say. The rule is simple. Never fix the negative with words. Instead of saying, "There's no worse," he says, "It was hard, but I'm grateful to have surpassed. I trust the future will be better." Instead of "I'm a failed," he says, "I'm growing up, strengthening myself." Instead of "Everything is too good," he says, "Thank God for that moment. May He multiply in blessings." These words act like a shield. Do not cause luck, but attract protection. In Jewish tradition, there is an interesting custom. Never talk about good things before they happen. For example, no pregnancy is commented in the first months. Why? Because the word is an invitation. You speak, and it's like opening a door. If anyone listens and thinking badly, it can already influence. The same goes for plans. Have you heard that saying? Don't count your plans until they are realized. This comes from the same wisdom. The word not only can it attract evil eye, but to weaken the energy necessary for things to happen. Therefore, the Jewish sages always said, "Thank God, so be," for good. This formula was like a seal of protection over the words. When I was younger, I myself made many mistakes with what I was talking about. He said, thrilled, "I'm never lucky. I don't serve for anything." And strangely, that's exactly what happened until a wise rabbi said to me, "You are digging your own grave with your tongue. Stop cursing yourself and start to bless yourself." And that changed everything. It was like a blow to the head. I began to watch my words carefully. When things went badly, I said, "This is a test. It is teaching me." When everything was going well, I said, "Thank God," to continue. Since then, a lot has changed, not because a miracle happened, but because I stopped opening doors to evil with my own mouth. And now I want you to understand the essentials. Words are not toy. They either destroy or build. And what you repeat every day will become your reality. Let's recap everything we talked about. Words have real power. They can be like a shield that protects us from adversity, or as a dagger we dug into our lives. Every word we pronounce is a seed we plant. The more we repeat it, the stronger the plant that is born from it becomes. If the word is good, light, opportunities, and blessings sprout. If it is bad, problems, failures, and misfortunes grow. And it is not just a figure of language. I saw this in practice, in my life and in the lives of the people around me. I saw as a simple phrase, "As everything is going too well," turn joy into anxiety and disappointment. I saw as words like "I'm unlucky" or "I'm never lucky" created a chain of failures from which it was hard to escape. And I saw how, by replacing these expressions with positive statements, gratitude, faith in the best, conscious blessings, people's lives changed radically. Why is this so important? Because life is not just about circumstances, but how we react to them with words, thoughts, and actions. You may be in a difficult situation, but the right word may change the course of events. It may be in a moment of joy, but a careless word is able to ruin it. In the Jewish tradition, it has always been emphasized, hold the tongue and the teeth. If you are talking, it is only for good, for growth. Do not pronounce words that attract evil, which generate envy, fear, or anxiety. And do not talk about your plans or successes ahead of time. First, let them materialize, then share. Practical advice: 1. Observe your words every day. Start with small steps. Instead of saying "I'm never lucky," he says, "Sometimes it's hard, but I learn from challenges." 2. Thank and bless. Follow every positive event with words of gratitude. Thank God that good continues. 3. Avoid absolute statements. Phrases like "can't get worse" or "now it's over" attract negativity. Prefer "it's hard now, but I will surpass and everything will fit." 4. Do not curse yourself or others. Remember, negative words come back like a boomerang. 5. Use positive statements. Formulate everything in terms of possibilities. I'm learning. I'm growing up. I'm getting stronger. These words shape reality. My personal experience: I myself started full of mistakes. In youth, he repeated words that destroyed my opportunities. He complained of luck, said, "I'm unlucky. I will never make it." And life confirmed every word. Everything happened exactly as I had prophesied. With my pessimism, until I realized if I wanted to change my life, I needed to change the language. I began to thank for everything, for the good things and even for the difficulties that they taught me. I started using words that invited good, and life began to change slowly but firmly. Today I understand that the power of words is no joke. It is a tool we use daily, often without realizing it. Friends, remember, each word is an opportunity to destroy or build, attract happiness or push it away, to be prosperous, protected, and fulfilled. If you assimilate that the word can be your ally or enemy, you will have taken a huge step towards a better life. Be careful with what you say. Hold your tongue when necessary, and, above all, thank, bless, and formulate your thoughts with kindness. Make this a habit, and life will begin to organize itself. If this content was useful for you, subscribe to the channel. There is still a lot of valuable Jewish wisdom to share about money, health, family, success, and spiritual growth. Each video is a step for a better life. To understand how words shape reality. Remember, power begins with a single word. Today you have taken the first step for the strength to work in your favor, not against you.